Yo, all right, we are back with another week. This is the fourth week of the Nomadic Deluxe release, rollout, album rollout, and all of that. Fourth episode of this whole thing. And I want to shout out to everybody who's been, running up the album so far. We've got 3 tracks that have dropped, fourth track dropping at midnight tonight. And, this is the fourth episode. And I tend to ramble a lot when I film these things. I'm just kind of letting the camera roll and talking about my whole experience, the analytics, talking about what's going on in life right now. And I'm kind of going to go a little bit deeper into what I brought up in the last episode about some of the stuff that I've been doing in the schools with my team and that. And I kind of want to elaborate a little bit more on what's going on in that aspect. But without any further ado, let's get into the analytics. Before I do that, though, let's just quickly say, if you guys don't know who I am Nomad222, formerly known as just Nomad, also known as just Damon Pataha. And I am a hip hop artist, a performer, a spoken word artist. I make music, I run events, I facilitate programs for young people creatively. And what's some of the other things I do? I'm a father of 4. I'm based on the west side of Melbourne, Naarm. And yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Anyway, back to this. If you guys don't know what's happening in this episode, go back and watch the other 3 episodes. Anyway, back to this analytics. So in 4 weeks, we starting with Spotify monthly listeners. So on the 8th of August, I was sitting at 51 monthly listeners on Spotify. My target is 4 million monthly listeners, and we are now sitting at 183. So a win is a win. We're up right now. 183 from 51. Sick. Got a long way to go to 4 million, but we'll get there. Spotify total streams. So we've had a massive jump in the past week. So we were sitting at 5,954. We are now sitting at 7,365. And that's pretty crazy considering the first week was 5,632. So 2,000 difference. Shout out to everybody that's been running it up. Life and Times, Jokes on You, We On, all the tracks that have come out so far. Really appreciate it. And it's proving this whole theory that we're trying to prove, right? Anyway, Spotify followers, we started at 173, slowly been making our way up, and now we're at 182. 182 people following me on Spotify. Shout out to all of you. Spotify playlist ads, we were at 280 in week 1. Now we are at 303 after 4 weeks. Sick. Apple Music daily listeners, still 2 listeners daily. And I'm not going to lie, it's probably me as one of those listeners, and probably, it can't be my mom. She's on Samsung. But Apple Music daily listeners, to whoever's playing my music on Apple Music, the one other person, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Total streams on Apple Music is still at 7.6K. Which is cool. Like we were sitting at that last week. That was 100 up from the first week, which was 7.5. Didn't make a difference in week 2 either. So from 7.5 to 7.6, a win is a win. Instagram followers, it's been a tough week. So we started at 4,111. Week 2, we dipped down to 4,104. And then we went up to 4,121, which was sick. And now we're back down to 4,109. So even less than we started with on Instagram. So that kind of sucks. But at the same time, our Instagram posts have had the most engagement in this entire time period. So we started at 66.9%. And then in week 2, we were at 283.20% engagement. And that was sheerly just from the fact that I had not been posting a lot in, when I did the first data intake. And then second week, I had a full consistent week of posts. Third week, same thing. And now we're at the week 4 where we're at 496.60. So that's the highest engagement rate so far. Just goes to show that consistent posting obviously is going to make a difference. And the thing about the Instagram followers dipping off is I'm not too fussed about that. I would rather people unfollow me if they don't vibe with what I'm creating, so that it makes space for the people that do vibe with what I'm creating. I'm not too sure if the algorithm also has those sentiments in mind, but regardless, if you're not down with it, see you later. That's all good. Enough said. Anyway, TikTok followers. Gotta say, I love TikTok. We started at 5,224, which was already gas. Week 2, 5,227. Week 3, 5,230. And now we are at 5,241. So that's the biggest leap so far, but it's only been steady increases. I will say, just off of this page, there's been a lot more comments. There's been a lot more likes, not just views, a lot more likes and comments as well. The followers seem to genuinely dig what I've been doing because they'll like and comment on one of the newer videos and then go back and watch the rest. So that's the thing about, it just goes to show, if you have a catalog, if you have a library of content or a catalog of music where people can find you with something new and then go back and see what else you've done, that's how you retain, a new fan or a new viewer, or whatever you want to call them. My people, my tribe. So shout out to all of you. TikTok post engagement rate, having a little bit more trouble there. It's kind of weird because I'm seeing these tangible wins, but the engagement rate has been going down since week 2. So week 1, I was sitting at 994.40%. And again, it's the same thing as Instagram. I wasn't really posting. And then second week, consistent posts, 7 days straight, 2,718%. And that's been the highest engagement rate so far. Week 3 dipped down to 255%, and now week 4, 1,670%. But again, like it's a very weird thing because I feel like there's been a lot of tangible wins, but this doesn't really reflect that. And if anything, it's kind of saying that the engagement has been a little bit off, but it doesn't feel that way from what I'm seeing in the comments. So maybe the comments are just a little bit more rewarding this time around. Anyway, don't want to hop on about that too much. YouTube subscribers is the final category. We started at 467 and now we're sitting at 473. And obviously one of my next goals for YouTube is to hit 500 subscribers because that's one of the first numbers that you have to meet in order to monetize a YouTube channel. But my eventual goal is to get to 1,000, and then my big dream is to get like one of those play buttons, which would be really cool. But 1,000 for now would be great. Sitting at a 473, it's 473 people that are tuning into this content, and maybe you guys are one of them too. So much love to you all. But yeah, obviously that's a lot of data, a lot of analytics, but so far the theory that we have started this whole journey with of a waterfall release, dropping tracks one by one each week and stacking it with content, no matter how mediocre or arguably high or low quality the content actually is, it's working. Consistently posting so far since the start of this journey, haven't missed a day. So 28 days straight, content every single day across four platforms, actually, if you include Facebook, which I'm not personally paying much mind to because it's a new page and everything like that. I'm more focused on the pages that I've established and that I more frequently use in my personal life. Because again, like the whole thing about this is trying to create a community of like-minded individuals and people that are going to consume my content and tune in for what I'm creating because they match my energy, that they match my tendencies and what I am actually into. So with that being said, Instagram and TikTok, those are the main things that I use. Actually, I probably use YouTube the most on all platforms. So yeah, with that being said, our focus has been to consistently post content across those channels, tap into as many audiences and markets as we possibly can. And I feel like we're doing a pretty good job at that so far. But like I've kind of alluded to in the previous videos, I have to make it very clear. After seeing the content, I'm going about my day-to-day life, I'm at work or whatever, all the content is scheduled to post on its own time at very specific times, like whether it's 1 p.m. or 4 p.m. or whatever. I have to say, admittedly, the content is mediocre at best. Two of the lowest quality pieces of content that I've made for each song are 2 visualizer reels or TikToks that go up every second day. And the reason why I say that is just because, like, you know, I've animated the cover art, sort of. There's some lyrics on it. It's not the most engaging, you know, it's kind of lazy, but it's what I can manage with my capacity. You know, I've been through the excuses. I've got kids, I've got a full-time job and everything. I'm trying to balance it. And I really don't have a team. Like, you know, and that's not to discredit everybody that's helped me along the way, because I've had a whole lot of help. And shout out to everybody, like the producers and photographers, videographers, everybody that I've ever worked with. But just saying, like, for this rollout, it's been a lot of independent things that I've had to learn and do and create on my own, which I'm actually really comfortable and proud of. You know, I consider myself a lyricist first, and really that's my comfort zone. Everything outside of that, whether it comes to, you know, recording myself, learning to record myself, learning to mix and master myself, learning how to do a little bit of graphic design, learning to event produce, all of that other stuff that I've kind of, you know, dabbled in a little bit. That's things that those are tools that I've had to pick up along the way and learn how to utilize them and how to do that myself. So with that being said, like, you know, I don't want to be too harsh on myself and say like the visualizers are trash, but I'll definitely say it's the lowest effort forms of content that I've put out on this whole album rollout. And with that being said, the rest of the content is all literally just me singing the songs. And it gets a little repetitive. I understand that. I've tried to diversify it and do it in different locations. There's some videos that go out once a week of me performing in my work office at my job. There's performances of me filming right there, you know, recording with a mic and things like that. There's 2 videos that come out every week for every song. And it's the same thing. And I'm just thinking from a consumer's perspective, when I see it, I'm like, okay, it's week 4 now. I've seen similar videos for the other releases that you've done. It's all kind of the same thing. I kind of get it at this point. It's a little bit repetitive. And so with that being said, I'm a little bit worried that we're into week 4 and I'm already feeling like that as the creator. And I wonder how everyone else is going to feel about that by the time we get to week 17, which is admittedly a long time away. It already feels like it's been a long time, you know, 28 days straight of doing this. But with that being said, so far, it's just been incremental gains, and I'm really happy about that. At the same time, I am trying to think of ways where I can manage to fit in some new content to kind of mix it up and shake it up a little bit. Things that are unique to each song. It's just a little bit hard. It's too hard to find time. And again, going back to what I've alluded to, like what I've been busy with. So I'm working at a place called Multicultural Arts Victoria. And if you guys don't know what that is, follow us on socials, go to our website and everything like that. We're really trying to tap into the community as it is right now and put on for artists of diverse backgrounds, and especially early career artists as well, with different opportunities. We've got a program out right now called Newprint 3. But yeah, we're doing a lot of things at Multicultural Arts Victoria. Follow us, stay up to date. But that is currently occupying a lot of my time. 4 days a week, I'm working for Multicultural Arts Victoria. But in turn, I'm also facilitating a pilot program, which is one of my own programs, and I'm running it with my team at We Move. So with 2 other artists, Vina and JBN. Vina's a really dope artist and singer in her own right. You should check her out. JBN's an incredible producer and engineer. Give him a sus. And she's also doing events. Like, he's got an event called Dosa Dopa coming up very soon. Make sure you check it out and head out there. But we are currently working in a school on the West called, well, I don't want to put that out there right now, but we're working at a P-9 school in the West, running a program called Be Free, which is essentially an introductory program to creativity in music. And it actually started off as kind of a way to go into schools and play wild and out type games. But the cool thing about this pilot is that we had the chance to go into these schools, and we started at a different school last year in the final term of the year, and the kids changed what the program was and actually gave it its identity. So it's become this new thing where we're going into schools, we're introducing them to what we do and part of our career, and we're running them through how to make a song. So over the course of one term, we're creating a song with that group of kids, and then by the end of it, we have a big feed, we eat, we premiere the song, we listen to it. And at this new school, we're actually going to be starting to film a music video with them soon, which is just going to be, you know, a simple visualizer, but it's going to be them performing their song. So it's really special for the kids. And on a deeper level, it's all about combating antisocial behaviors and bringing these kids together using music as the driving force for that interaction. And so, you know, that's kind of been occupying my time. We run that once a week for 2 hours with the kids. JBN goes home and he works on the beats and he works on whatever we recorded that day. We just had a recording session today in the class. It was the final recording session. Next week, we start filming the music videos, and then we got 2 more weeks to either finish the music video, but in the final week, we're going to premiere it. And again, we're going to have that big feed for this school. So that's been really cool. We're very close. We're in the second half of that iteration of the program. But we had a really dope conversation with our contact at that school today about looking into some funding opportunities to keep the program going at that school. And so since I got home today, the reason why this is coming out so late is because I just pretty much been in the garage. I helped out with the kids a little bit, but my partner's holding it down right now. Shout out to T. But I've pretty much been locked in here and just trying to go through this grant application and figure out, you know, what exactly we need, how we're going to make it, and just try and put together the best case possible so that we can lock in this money and make sure that the program stays alive for another 2 terms. It's really exciting when we're able to get into this mode. And even if we can't win this funding, if we can't secure this grant, then at least we have a template for other funding opportunities in the future. But I feel really confident about this. The team are really excited about it. The school's really excited about it. We got confirmation today that the principal is actually down for us to partner together for this. So that's really cool. I'm really just manifesting it. I'm putting it out there. We are going to do this. I'm going to figure this out so that by next Tuesday, I can sit down with the school and we can apply for it. And it's all going to go swimmingly is the word that I'm going with for this. Anyway, that's pretty much what's been happening. On an expanded level though, like I said in the last video, that's pretty much where I see We Move going and where I want to take it. I'm really excited about working with Vina and JBN. I feel like we're all really like-minded in that sense. And, you know, we really want to expand it from just being Be Free, you know, where we have the introductory program where we go into the schools, we work with the next gen, spark their curiosity so that maybe they want to pursue it outside. And then we create opportunities outside of school where they can come and we can create a cultural hub similar to what I was privy to as a young 20-year-old dad of 1, you know, at the time, going to St. Albans and being a part of Lab. For those of you who don't know, Living and Breathing was a program that was running out in Brimbank for quite some time up until, you know, the end of lockdowns and all of that. But I was fortunate enough to go there and meet a lot of dope people. And we would take over St. Albans Community Center. I would be facilitating some writing workshops or, you know, going in and out of different workshops. We had so many different artist facilitators of multi-disciplines doing different things in the room. We took over the whole hub. In one room, we had DJ Spell doing beat making and production classes. In another room, we had Homeboy G, Gabs, Rudy V running recording studio out of one room. And then downstairs, we had Llama Rock teaching B-boys and B-girls what to do. Mother was upstairs running therapy and poet sessions. Ida Applebaum, she was there doing arts and crafts, doing all kinds of visual art. So much stuff going on. And I got to shout out one of my main mentors and one of the reasons why I'm in the position that I'm in today. Dennis NASA Penaligan. If you guys know NASA, everyone that knows NASA knows that he's a real G. And it's been a minute since I've been able to talk to the bro, but you know, if you get a chance to see this and this comes across your timeline, I just want you to know, man, like the impact you've made on me has been so profound, and I am part of your legacy. And what I'm trying to do is just continue that and the wisdom that you've instilled in me. I didn't really mean for this. I didn't plan this at all. I didn't mean for it to get this deep. And shout out to Martha as well. Shout out to Rudy V. Shout out to everybody who's had a hand in, like, you know, crafting that program and instilling that sort of mindset into me. I really want to continue that work and get something back, get back to that somehow. I feel like I've been chasing that for a minute now. It's 2024. I think we wrapped up in like 2021. Seems like such a long time ago. But anyway, I know that we're gonna get there. Manifestation is so powerful. I really believe in it. I really believe that without manifestation, I wouldn't be experiencing a lot of the things I'm experiencing today. You know, just this year alone, I was able to go to New Zealand 2 times. For the first times in my entire life, I got to visit New Zealand, and then it was all through manifestation, and it had to do with my music. You know, Rugby 101. Shout out to Terrence and Dietrich. Shout out to you guys for believing in my song enough to want to bring me out to host your events. And now we're in talks for me to come down in October and host the 3rd one. It's incredible to me. It's wild, this journey of life. Anyway, I know I'm kind of rambling at this point, as I do so often. It's very on brand for me. Let's be real. A lot's going on. A lot's going on. And I want to shout out everybody who is following the journey so far and following it intently, with intention, and, you know, really wanting to see me succeed. And shout out again to everybody who's purchased the album on Even and supporting the creativity directly. I promise all the funds are being poured into this next iteration and what we're going to do in 2025. And I gotta say, I cannot wait to start teasing some of the things that I've been working on for 2025, because it's a lot. And I want to throw Levi's name out there. I want to throw out Max Van Soest. There's a lot of people's names that I want to throw out there for your hard work and effort, and, you know, being a part of this next chapter, this next phase. 2025 is going to be a real year of transformation and confirmation. You know, if the 222 era of the past wasn't already confirmation, this next one, like I said, we're in the proof of concept stage. And the concept, like I said, just based off the analytics, it's already starting to prove itself. And I don't know if this will make it across that timeline, but Connor Price, Nick D, La Russell, Russ, Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, all the independent artists that I've looked up to and based this blueprint off and crafted this idea from their teachings. You know, I couldn't have done it without people, trailblazers like themselves in this industry, stepping out and carving their own path, carving their own lane, and sharing the knowledge. Because knowledge is power. And you guys have empowered me to do this. And I'm going to take it as far as I can. You know, like I said in episode 1, I'm damn near 10 years into this game. It's too far to turn back now. Anyway, this is the most loose episode that I've done so far. Thank you for watching. If you did watch all the way, I really appreciate you. Keep supporting. Follow me on all of the socials, Instagram, TikTok. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook if you still use that. Stream the songs. Follow me on Spotify, all platforms. Destin drops tonight at midnight. Much love to you all. Peace. Yeah.